Okay, the reason flip came about is where do we always line up the strong safety? We play regular coverage against on number 2, right? And going to come up to twins. So when you do that in regular 2 blue, the corner and the safety on the backside. So now what you've done is you've removed the free safety and the strong safety from playing what you've taught them all the time in your diamond drill and everything else that you do playing run support. Okay, but it's a lot better against the pass than flip is as far as zone concepts, because I train the safeties to read things slower than what the corners were ever taught. Okay, now, so the reason flip came about was people used to get, now the linebacker has to walk also because there's his number 3, so now you're not playing enough people in the box. So we said, okay, we got to find a way to play something that'll keep everybody in the box. So that's how flip came about. Single width, the corners flip over. They're going to play whatever coverage we want them to. In this case, most generally we just play blue coverage. Okay? They play like the away side of blue because they're not going to have a me player over here to jump the quick out. So he's going to give a wheel call, look up 1, and this guy's slow to it.
That was my question. How's that? Yeah.
The strong safety is now his alignment rule is to make sure he keeps leverage. His alignment is make sure you keep leverage
So
on 3.
those 2 corners are playing in and out on those 2 receivers.
A banjo. But the key is we don't call it man because if you run a hitch in the corner, we're going to say if you're going to throw anything, you're going to throw the hitch.
Right.
Okay? That's correct. And hopefully maybe the strong safety, if they hold it long enough because you got to throw over the top of 2 people, he can get underneath that because he's getting himself into it. Well, his job against the one back now is to keep leverage on number 3. He is swing deep at 3 because you're playing blue, so his rule like he does, he's on the read side, he's swing deep at 3 like he's in a regular blue coverage. Except he's not going out and line up on number 2 because it's flip coverage. Okay? What flip coverage now allows you to do is your linebacker doesn't have to walk out because why? I'm lining up in a position to keep leverage, but I'm taking away the hot of 3. Okay? So now the linebackers can stay in the box. Because the free safety eliminated him, and his rule is the vertical number 3. Strong safety, swing deep at 3. So basically it's like robber coverage when you get in one back. Whether that guy is a slot or a tight end, trips, okay, which is the only time you'd have flip. Okay, because if it's tight end trips where it's a wideout back here, you don't have flip coverage in the first place. Now, what that turns us back in here is the solo. So the wig safety knows it's, because once we check flip over, flip becomes a coverage.
Right.
Okay? So flip becomes a coverage. It's basically like solo on the backside. And here we are. Well, now guess what we have? Whether this guy's a tight end or a wideout,
Yep.
we now have our safeties in the diamond drill progression.
Yeah.
Outside leverage, okay,
Like that.
with an out. That's why flip came about. First down, flip's a lot better call versus 12 personnel or even 11 if they're going to give us a lot. Now, we don't get much trips, you know, single width trips from people. We either get spread or we get tray open.
And that right there really is not much different than what we've been doing a whole bunch. That's split Bronco for us, or tight Bronco. That guy in the back there had that tight end man-to-man.
Now, where people, if they're going to attack us, they will probably try to do is come back here with speed option and stuff because this guy, they know this guy's in man. But that's how we protect him. We know it, then the first answer is going to be we're going to slam back there. Whether we cross the face or we're just taking all 4. Makes no difference. But our offense hates it because now you don't have speed option, at least as far as you got a force player blocking a guy that has pitch. And you got an alley player also, because the way our offense blocks, even in zone, you go here, they're coming here, but they don't have that guy.
Yeah.
And you always got a pitch player. He's not walked out on number 2 where he can't be stopped. I can stop, Chuck. We'll come back.
Keep going.
So does that free safety play any different versus 3 wide receiver trips versus tight end trips?
You mean with the guys here or there?
Yeah, whether he's a slot or
No, he's just vertical at 3.
he's still vertical at 3.
No,
Just versus the tight end.
it's easier to line up there. If it's wider, see the biggest thing is I don't want him to walk very far because you really need him to get back here on the backside.
Yeah.
Now here's a great call with this. If they were tight end trips and you're going to play flip, for me is scoot. I call it with the front call versus 11 personnel. So what am I going to do?
Slide them backwards over the tight end. Automatically.
Now they're gonna do it automatically, so you're creating a 4-3. Now, again, what is the weakness? It's always been. The weakness is the backside cutback, right? But again, where's my free safety? That's what he does on a daily basis.
Right.
So on a daily basis, his ass is running, and I'm telling you, if you shovel him as hard as I do, I can make the cutback zone play at underneath 2 yards, as long as he'll make the tackle all the time. And the other thing is, you can't get this guy far enough out where he can't react back to things too. And why we don't get a lot of this tight end trips is the same thing I just told you about flipping. People don't like to give us a field side, split inside because of dogs.
How does this hold up against the bubbles? Do you see a shitload of bubbles?
This is not as good against bubbles as the other look that we did. We don't get a lot of bubbles. Our regular coverage formation, because the strong safety always plays outside leverage on number 2,
Got it.
Can't block
your
the
betting
play.
man's not real good.
Yeah, you got 3 on.
In fact, in the first 2 series against East Carolina, they tried to run the motion across and run the bubble, and the strong safety tackled it for an 8-yard loss. But again, we didn't have to work on all the formations they did, so what do I work on? Anytime the motion across, if he stayed outside, it was bubble. If he went across and went back across, then you get ready for number 1 running a smash. That's how well I knew East Carolina. I mean, we knew by how they motioned what they were going to do when they motioned. If a tight end motion is going to be run. If a wide receiver motion is going to be pass.
Yeah, that predictable.
If they put I back with the tight end back there, they're going to run trap option. They were going to never hand it off to the tight end. It's going to be a quarterback pitch play. 2 times in 11 games they handed off the tight end. So we didn't slide. Against them, we didn't slide to that stuff because it was all going to be an I mean, we can handle one back. Basically, it was going to be one back option. The tight end, so we handle one back option. The tight end said all the time. It's when you're getting 2 guys over there.
So flip is you really.
That's a way for us to play a formation and keep our guys in the box.
Keep your-
You're taking one of
true
those
integrity
guys
inside.
out. I mean, you're playing it like Robert.
I got a 5'9", 170-pound guy. Instead of him back here on the tight end playing solo and having to play the run, I get my 205-pound guy and my free safety still running the alley. If I think it's a pass, then I like all myself where I walk people out and play 2 blue solo. I like flip to get people when he gets one back in the box.
That was almost our base defense. I mean, what we almost versus one.
Now the kicker is,
But that was the same.
the kicker is though,
Except they got the free safety.
is the balance look.
Our free safety was
Yeah, he's been back.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
he wasn't playing no
he
wasn't as aggressive as theirs were, no.
No, but
We didn't
the
teach
kicker
him.
is when
I
they're in a
didn't teach him.
balance set. Difference in your man call because flip was just whatever we're going to do to this.
Yeah.
Whereas once you get back balance, we're playing 2 blue.
Right.
And that's again, the flexibility of the 5 defensive back system.
How's it look versus straight twins?
Flip?
Two back twins.
Pretty good.
You bring that strong safety to
Well, here's what I like.
Inside
You
the
can
twin.
you bring him inside, not necessarily you have to walk him and slide up in the box. So you know where people used to bring in twins when you see people play old robber coverage?
Yeah.
Because the guys clear out here, they like that, and then they're in the ISO. Well, with flips, they don't like that stuff anymore. Because now your linebackers, the biggest thing now is what do you have to be able to do? Free safety's got to come back here and give you a sky or a banjo call. You got to be able to have. He's got to be able to help show up back here on the backside of run support.
How would that work when you're just in a sky off the read side there, Gary? How's the path? No, back off the read side. Yeah. How does it transpire your coverage? What do you?
Well, here, because we're in zero, flip, if he says sky, we play it like cover 2, like this is a weak safety in a corner.
Okay.
If he says man, then if we played fiddle, then he'd have him up the field, he'd have him anything outside.
Sam's still working off a fit too.
Yeah,
When the weak safety's dropping, he's your outside dropper.
yes.
He probably will never get width until he's challenged.
He has nothing to threaten his outside, so he's not going to cover grass. He's
Right.
going to wait for crossing routes, really, unless something takes him outside.
Unless you get a flare or something.
And then he's swing deep at 2, which is what in sky, that's what he is. In the backside cover 2, he's swing deep at 2.
Okay.
You can play 5 back there too.
Could. If
If
you
you
kept
to the front, to the front side of the court.
Oh, yeah, you can play a hard corner with a sink. Yep. With a safety and a half.
There'll be a
You
corner
just
there.
got only but the way you play it, with 2 to the flat, and curl, because you play that safety aggressive on the curl. So I mean,
Corners will never play it that hard because they don't.
Right.
They,
They don't know.
I'm telling you right now, we tell them to flat foot, and they always start in back though.
Right.
Even in flip covers in blue, they don't flat.
So it'd be almost just as good for you to make some type of in and out call right there with the corners.
A lot of ways. The difference is, when the hitch and corner are not allowed, making the inside corner have to play the corner out, so you
Right.
sink and help.
Yep.
People will not live by just throwing the hitch all day long.
Right.
At least I've never been a part of it. Yes, sir.
Right.
When you're getting sprint out and you're playing two read over here, okay, he's coming hard. He's just reading the window off him. If he gets it pulled up, he'll come inside.
Yeah.
Doing that. Now he's taking the spot of three.
Pulling the chain. Yep.
Pulling the chain. So now he's a three vertical, wall, middle.
Yep.
And now, what would be your weak safety? Rotate,
Well, he's just
really,
inside half
C2.
back there, so he's just going to make sure.
Never cross the hash.
Yes.
Say.
Well, that's
the
weak
weak
safety.
That's
This
what I'm
guy,
saying.
gonna squeeze
Same
one
weak
on the
safety.
boot.
yeah, he's going to do just like
He's gonna
this.
squeeze one on the boot.
Yep. This guy comes across, he'd have one on the boot. If the guy stayed in with the sprint out, and he would cover grass and sink back through the middle of it. Exactly.
Have you ever sent them both?
Yeah, in man coverage. When they both have
Yeah.
the backs,
Yeah,
they
you
both
would
have
both
the backs, and shoot, they both come and we're
Remember when
coming.
we were playing against Akron? Well, when we were in against Akron, we were in.
Were we in Bledsoe or were we?
We were having a hell of a time with that sprint out against Akron.
Who could pull it up?
I'll tell you one thing that'll get you. Is
We were in
Ryan.
Rammer Lion, I think, too, weren't we? Were we in Rammer
One
Lion?
time he got out. Was that when he got outside of West that time coming off? I know something like that.
Most of the time,
Ran
like our
out of
offense,
bounds
what
one time.
they're going to do is they're going to turn back on us because they run so much smoke draw. They turn back and they take a step and run the draw. We play the end underneath always. So when you get to turn back, he's playing underneath, so they're going to have him blocked.
They're gonna get him.
Yeah. So we're going to route the linebacker like we were playing in Florida State at Pittsburgh for the conference title. One of their favorite plays was quarterback sweep. So we run double smoke, and both linebackers had the backs. So you'd end up with a smoke and again. You always got to be careful against us if you want to sprint out because
Who does
of
that?
the
that
8-man
smoke.
front capabilities of being able to bring that guy off the edge.
Is there ever a time that Mike or the Sam is going to have drag boot pickup?
Well, we do teach that out of one back,
Uh-huh.
but the problem is the swing deep out the back end. So
Right.
it just depends on whether they like to do that or not. If they
I've always
do,
taught the front side guy's going to get up and run. The back side guy got a chance to pick it up.
well,
your boot.
for us,
They send him.
no, we send him on deal. Actually,
Front
as he
side,
steps up, and
yeah.
he's going to try to come back here the best he can, and he's going to wheel with him on the run.
Oh, the front side guy, okay.
So if you're in one back out here,
They send him. It's a.
yeah, and they play action to do here, he's gonna step up, then we
Try
want
to
to
wheel with it.
wheel, and this guy's
He's
gonna
gonna go.
start, and then he's gonna
Okay.
try to pull it up.
Right.
You know, because we're always playing in robber, we're always usually having somebody trying to let it
Somebody
out,
looking.
Wait.
playing for him anyway, hopefully. And see, that's what happens with, like our offense runs robber beaters. Okay, you're gonna run number 2 out of there,
Yeah.
but you know what the problem with that is now if you play any kind of man concept, now the guy has a tight end, then you're stuck in the mud with it. And that's what happened to our offense in the scrimmage on practice 4. We're playing zone, and they're crossing,
Yeah.
taking the wide receiver coming inside, he's the
Right.
crosser and all that. Well, that all looks good and fine until you play man coverage.
Willie?
Because then when you're man coverage, everybody has them anyway.
Probably,
Sorry, Will.
would they be chasing from an outside position on that drag? Man?
The weak safety? Yeah, he's gonna have to. He has no choice, because that's where he had to line up.
That's tough. I mean, that's just one of the...
Yeah,
And he's at.
But you know what it is? That's also a tough throw. Because the quarterback's running, he's running, and there's somebody close. It's an easier throw when you don't have anybody around.
Put that there for June. There's a 9
He's
without
He needs some
banana.
money?
No, here's a 9 without banana peppers.
That was coach.
You got him lined up with 3x3 on the tight end.
In man, yeah, he'll move up to a situation like that. Late, try to show a blue look.
Well, if you got a tight end flank,
They don't mark which ones have the peppers, so
so
you...
you're hurting you with run.
Here's
like
one
that,
with
you have to
peppers.
cheat him up.
Yeah, well, we can
You
do a
got
man or a
tight end
3.
flank.
Willie, you don't want
Yeah, we'll
peppers,
try.
right?
Well, we get up to 8. Here you
Really, did you
Oh,
want...
you just call some type of 3D program.
put a 3 or a man freaking something where you got a man, got him up there better. Or slant that way.
Right.
So again, for me, when you don't count the front and the coverage together, Excellent.
Every Thursday, right, Chuck?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Pickle for Willie and Jim.
What you just get bread?
Jimmy? Can't have bread.
What'd you get?
Sandwich bread.
You gonna take the bread off.
Thank
You
you,
can't
sir.
eat meat neither, can you? I thought- Oh, you
On
can't eat?
Fridays.
Oh,
They give you any napkins, Chucky?
No,
I got some up
I'm
there.
a bastard.
I got some right here. I'm Methodist by trade and Mormon by knowledge.
What's like the character at TCU? Pretty conservative, small school, pretty
All
quiet.
rich.
A lot of kids got money, huh? They all got money?
About 7,000. Rich.
Napkin.
Let me tell you how rich.
It's scary.
Cost 25.
Napkin for somebody down there.
Go to school there. My wife didn't even want to go on campus the way the girls were
God.
dressed.
Really?
Here's a frat guy, last spring break. Parents went on vacation, okay? So he takes, as one of our players is in the frat, he calls their pilot of their private jet.
His parents probably did.
Yeah. Because they didn't take it, and he takes 12 frat brothers to their house in Jamaica. He gets back, he gets grounded, so they take his $40,000, $45,000 BMW away from him for a month. That was his penalty. They weren't pissed he spent $6,000 on fuel going to Jamaica and back and used their house and their servants and everything else. They're just pissed off he didn't tell him.
First time.
I told my wife she shouldn't be nice to me. That we're gonna stop all this, and I'm just gonna marry money and acquire love.
All right, so where are we? We all right with that? Everybody kind of getting a feeling for it? Worst comes to worst, we can run Husker until we figure the freaking thing out.
It's a lot of things. And the biggest specific reason for this,
See the players, right?
type of players.
Oh, I need it.
Hey, Akron beat Navy this year, and we beat Akron, so we're better than Navy.
I think you are. Okay, you
All
got
right,
here?
hold on a second. Let us just try to call and see what some of the stuff you got, okay?
Okay. Got it.
All right. That looks to me like you're playing two sky.
Yep.
Would that be correct?
Yep. See how slow he is?
He's still going anywhere, right?
Lead draw.
Didn't go anywhere until the back's cleared.
Should have you a hard joint. Let's see.
Will you call this next one?
What's he, oh, we got no
Not gonna
tight-
get the end zone, because I just did this for covers coverage.
Like two, I mean,
like
2-5.
2-5.
There you go. Remember I was telling you about him running, see how this guy saw it and sank with it?
Rewind that one.
Don't want him to do this, but, because they're gonna come back with this guy, well, here he comes, right here.
What should the corner have done up there?
As soon as he heard wheel, he needed to look right to two and come off on it.
Okay, other guy he's doing just what he should do.
Yeah,
Let him out to the post.
Yeah, just like, I'd like to him to take the
Go
point right here.
Yeah, he's going.
And how fast do you figure he is?
This guy,
I don't look real fast.
Jervis is pretty, he's at least no better than 4.7 at best.
He don't look real
Because
fast.
our guys running there, you know, is going to be, you know,
Free safety?
That's Rashad.
that's where you want to
Shut
play
up.
Carlos.
So that
there.
Sam just be hauling ass with that
I
back
mentioned
out,
him if
out
you
there,
didn't want
Gary?
him.
No, I didn't say that.
What-
Let's
what's he
find out
doing?
what we
This
do
guy
with
needs to
Jermaine.
pull the chain.
We
But
don't
he's
want,
dropped
we
back,
don't
so
want
that's
to go
his free wall.
McDade, Jermaine,
He
Carlos.
starts that
make
way,
it
then
the
he needs to work
13th
back
player.
here.
Okay. Starting to zone
Right.
off on it, huh?
If we don't get Jermaine, I agree, we ought to move
Oh.
Carlos there.
He comes, just, no, stayed with it.
Shit.
Blue.
This your
I'm
borders. Oh, you
What
don't
is
play
it?
8 though, you don't play quarter for half.
Hey, you
Yeah,
bailing.
we do.
You bailing.
Oh, you blue, okay, it's blue
What do you
two,
play it?
it's blue 5.
Blue 5 right here.
Fine,
All right.
man.
And this guy again is running the technique at the top where he's just trying to stay over the top of him, right?
Yep. And I've got this one. I think I have it where we're playing Notre Dame. You're gonna see him on a single route against Notre Dame where he's gonna cut him off like 4 times. Now this is a pretty good job of man-to-man clue driving back. You can see it's kind of muddy though.
Inside release by number 2 there with the strong safety. He trying to get his hands on him pretty good.
Yeah, that's the difference between 2 and blue for us.
Me
Remember,
call.
we're gonna try to beat on him more
Gotta be
Collision
called.
blue.
vertical.
in blue.
All right.
Got a me call there.
What's the technique on the
You call
bottom
it
with
arrow
the corner?
rule for
You're
us.
playing
Me call also means you're gonna beat us.
cover
up.
5 on the cover 5 on the bottom.
Yeah.
You just kind of
Robert covers
He
you.
Go in
needs to
3
shuffle-
steps,
he needs
like
to
shuffle
shuffle down.
3.
He needs to shuffle down and hit him, but the guy funnels himself.
Right, Gary, me call means you're gonna hit that guy hard too, right?
Be physical and we're gonna handle any quick, and if the guy tries to run out, up to us and out, we're gonna jump him. That's what the me means. Corner, you don't have to worry about a quick out. I got it.
How about a wheel?
Wheel is called right now and the corner comes off and the strong safety's in the curl. We don't run with a wheel call, with a wheel.
That strong safety you
Flare
have
wheel.
is never running.
You talking
with-
about like, you're talking about
Never
a,
run
Uh-uh.
with 2?
Flare.
Never running with
A
number 2
flare.
on the wheel.
Well, he will
No, you
with
talking
an
about-
out and up, but not with a wheel.
he's, what he
The
calls a
flare
wheel
up,
is
the
the,
flare
like a
take
bubble,
up,
a bubble.
Yeah.
Swing,
It's like a
Yeah,
swing,
swing.
swing pass, yeah.
yeah, if number 3 would swing out through, or like on the weak side, we swing out through and run up like in a sky alignment, you would run with the wheel. Swing deep to 2.
So in 5, the corner has swing deep with 2?
That's correct. Anytime you're the flat guy, that's correct.
And in blue, the strong safety has swing deep with 2.
Yep.
3. Not 2.
Yep, that's correct. Now again, see, pretty nice job here of not getting too fast, crossed over, but watching be able to drive back down on it.
Yeah.
Gives an in call at the top. We didn't get anything out quick, so the corner can sink and help play the outside. This is Navy cut-ups, Coach.
Okay.
So we're playing blue at the
Is that
top,
game?
5 at the bottom, huh?
Is this game?
Yeah, this is against, well, it's cut-ups a lot of games, but this is Villanova right here. I had to bring it something that gave Chuck some old memories.
Chuck doesn't remember any of those years.
Actually, he is not wrapped. He's probably retired.
Okay, now, what do you got?
It's 3D 400.
Sky at the bottom.
It looks like 3D 400 here.
It looks like 3, but it's gonna be, see what he does first.
2 sky.
Oh, two sky.
Yeah, so basically ends up being cover 2 across
Two
the board.
sky.
Now
And
let's,
probably the call was 25 sky.
Right.
Here. They came out in I-backs.
okay, couple of things here, Gary. You got a kind of a short split here by X. Okay, so let your sky guy drop down. Okay? If he wants to turn his back to him,
Get probably more on the line of scrimmage.
more on the line of scrimmage, because you don't want that guy to be able to come in and dig him
Yeah,
out.
dig him.
And with that tight a split, I'd probably widen him out, so I would
Inside shoulder.
turn him, I'd get right back bumped up into him so that I couldn't get,
Right, I get my hands on him
Yeah.
and hold him off and be able to play, all right? Now,
nice
on the
job.
On the back side right there, that's, we call, a lot of times, we call that a half-man technique. This backside corner,
Mhm.
you go on the sky side. All right, if he gets a post, he's inside of it all the way.
Post all day.
All right, he gets a dig, he's squeezing it hard, right?
Yep.
Okay. He gets kind of a diagonal going across, he's still following it, right?
It works up and he's gonna squeeze it, yes.
Yeah, well, is something coming back the other way, does he zone off then?
Usually your sky player helps it, but you gotta remember most of the time, these two guys, because of the way we do it, are handling those things
Right.
because of the robber concept. This is, again, I was telling you about technique-wise with the free safety, this guy probably played the best I ever had. You know how the other free safety backed up? The other free safety runs 4.4. This one runs 4.7. And watch how slow because he tried to do it exactly the way you told him.
One more time, I want to see the corner at the top.
Now this
Almost let
this
you
guy,
back
Sean
inside.
Andrews,
Right.
he, as a freshman, he led the nation in interception year. With this first year, we put this package in, he had 9. Because they threw at him all the time.
He's certainly not 1x7 like when we went
No.
over the alignments. He's
No, he's
more
more like
than
1x9, which is where,
2x10. or-
yeah. Used to say back in those days, we used to give it used to be a 1 by 7 to 9, depending on well, what you thought. Because the better the guy feels comfortable with the position, the more he moves up. A young player doesn't play very tight.
Hey, Gary, on the last play,
Yes, sir.
on the bottom here, your inside linebacker's wall and 2. And it's fullback here now. He's getting a bunch of width. What does he just let him go?
Tommy,
At what point?
you know, now I wasn't the coordinator here. Tommy, the way Tommy coached linebackers, they just back up. He never hard-walled things.
Okay.
Like we did at Utah State and like we do now, and we did it in New Mexico and at TCU. Blue 5.
What told you it was blue as opposed to,
Corner bail.
Corner.
corner couldn't he bail and, he would start and,
The other thing they would have told me is what the strong safety did, because in cover 2, as soon as it was passed, he went to the flat right now and blue, he'd hang and hit him in the mouth.
Dang. And almost there.
Short smoke, 2 blue solos, so you got a smoke with a solo call on the backside, 2 at the top. Again, you see why you don't want 2 running with swing deep at 2 on the read side?
Yeah.
So you can see, these guys are hardly standing up.
let me see the corner one more time.
Okay. He got a wheel call. Watch him here. Because after the first early plays, start seeing him a little bit better. How's the wife?
How's her back, Coach?
Back's kind of, I think she's past that part. She's now where she's taking her leg out of brace and
Yeah?
setting and bending and all that.
Oh.
She thinks she's supposed to be out jogging.
Oh, there's that.
Nice bridge, that would be a problem.
Again, he's just sitting on him because Blues played the same as Robert, plays cover 2.
Uh-huh.
Nice break.
Oh, they call that.
Communists.
You're the United States Navy, they can't call that against you.
Mm-hmm.
You got 5 on the bottom.
2,
I almost got it.
Pitch and go.
Run fake, yeah.
2-5.
2-5.
Again, the key, well, I think it's, yeah, it is. Key then too is to make sure you run through the guy when they hit you and go.
Right.
You're staying 2-5 here because you know you beat them with 6 in the box, right?
Yeah, and it's probably a pass down. Probably a pass down is probably 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10 or something where you're not having to check sky back here. I don't know why this guy threw this pass.
Is it something else coaching those guys at Navy? Are they just, you know, do everything, run through a wall for you and tell them one time?
They are, but it's really your best players are your prep school guys, the guys that scored 980, not your guys that scored 1200.
Really? Just because they're better athleticism usually? And
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Right.
Huh?
Zingo was one of those guys at Cornell.
When I first went to Cornell, it amazed me. You tell them all to back pedal and turn to their left. You still have about 4 or 5 of them turning to their right. I mean, they do the same.
Here's a pretty good example again on the back side when the ball goes away. Don't go until you know with the safety. See the ball goes. You know, you don't get it. You don't take read steps. I mean, I'm coaching them to be as slow as they can.
Mhm.
Here's again, don't get any deeper than 3 yards. And really, this guy didn't have to be that wide.
So you're saying you got a little too deep?
Yeah, no, it's not bad right here where he's at. About 3 yards. See where he stops and collisions and pull back.
Right, don't run.
If he goes any farther than that, then you got a seam. Anyway, let's get out of the Villanova game here. I did when I went to Mexico. I went clear through the whole coverage thing and took out all teaching because I was going to have to go by myself to New Mexico, and so I was going to have something to show
They slapped 41 on Pittsburgh last year, the opening game.
Here's a call for you. You asked about goal line, Chuck.
Uh-huh.
Here's zero fiddle double. Fiddle over here. Safety is lined up in a force position, but he is called double to the corner. It's told him because this guy was a 6'5" wide receiver.
Uh-huh.
He told him now in double to move outside leverage. I was going to help double the inside, so they tried to throw the fade. The guy jumps to the outside. The corner does. He can't get out there, see, he had to move an inside release, and then we end up getting the pick down on the goal line.
That's exactly what I was waiting for this
Okay, Notre Dame, we're in a flip call here.
Okay, so
Yeah, there he comes down.
Okay.
Corners over and flip. They're playing it man style with a showing like blue. The reason I know it's man because look at the corner.
Right.
Okay, we've got a fiddle call back here, so we got a fiddle on the tight end. In this ball game, this free safety is going to make 14 tackles. And you
So
can
the
see
whole call again is what, coverage-wise?
zero fiddle tough. Tough telling us to move up tighter.
And so it's not really a flip call, the zero.
Well, zero is split, but it's in man principles, yes.
Right.
Want a hard joint out of here to the Sam? Just build it.
Yeah, let's see it. Should.
You were running zero fiddle with a slide, the strong safety would have made the slide call.
Yeah, and he'd be right here
Stack
before the
right in
snap. And the mic would have been moved right here, and the Sam's over. Bump to this day still doesn't play slide. Bump and Brent, neither of them play slide. Now, they play what they call Mustang, which they kind of move them, but they don't make any calls from the secondary or anything else.
I thought tough was something else. What's tough mean?
Tells the safeties to move up
Move
Right.
inside,
in a
right?
harder alignment.
Instead of 3x7, maybe 3x3?
Yeah. You play it with a man call. You could play it with a zone if you wanted to. Okay, we get flanker.
Looks like you're you're in some kind of 4-3 now.
Well, what we went to is a heavy look here. That heavy look, goal line look,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
only we're only using one corner.
Oof. Oh boy, got knocked out.
This is a great job of Vail here.
So this
Willie,
is two blues?
what's it? This looks like zero. It looks like just plain zero fiddle with a tough call, so everybody's up with the safeties. First down. Watch now. This is a great Vail here. We'll get back. Needs to get back over the top. Now this is one of the reasons why we went to like Vail at Navy, because watch the guy in the off man here. Watch how he gets beat.
Okay, flip his hips.
Stops his feet. Now see, Brian Norwood, who just went to Texas Tech, coached the corners, and he did a really good job with it. But I mean, we could play Vail all day long, but you put those guys in an off man where they had to turn in transition.
Just really the only thing we got hurt with on Vail this year, Willie, was quick slants, right?
Right.
And
Y'all
they
flip
flew
here
the fade
again,
and they
Gary?
outjumped us. So.
Yeah, we're at zero. I think we might even have a line. I don't know if this guy's coming in line. I think it's just zero fiddle tough again. Again, here's the thing about fiddle, or even flip, Chuck.
Okay.
Strong safety, let's say he makes a slide, and even if he doesn't, they flipped over. This strong safety comes over here and lines up like his normal cover 2 alignment, where he lines up on number 2, so they don't think they can throw bubbles and everything. Right before the snap, he moves right, see how he moves right inside leg?
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, you had him blocked with a stock, and now you don't have a stock, and so there's nobody to block him to help on the pitch. Backside solo guy, got a little bit of trouble here. It's a zero fiddle press again. Okay, here's the best, and this is the only reason I'm going to watch them. We can go at it. Watch this guy, single receiver, and he's in zero bell. Watch the guy run slow. Watch him. He goes outside. He's going to go outside. He's going to go inside.
You got that road.
This, and then you're going to cut him on. Now watch him push him in the back. You never ever let him get into full. You never let him ever get into really full speed. Anyway, that's what I want to see, want you to watch other than
Okay.
this one. You want to go to two combinations, you want to go to dogs.
We got both of them sitting here.
Let's go to dogs since we,
So you big dog.
nobody at the post 114 times and only one touchdown. Obviously, the answer would be, we'd hope there would be no touchdowns. Boot, don't look good against dogs. Wide dogs, the corner's coming over, we're playing zero cover. So this is one nice thing about the Avid system, and you guys see field you aim, wide dog B, and then we're playing zero bail.
So when you guys make your cut-ups, Gary, you just, everything go on there, or just the ones you want to teach from?
No, this is everything.
Everything.
These things have everything on them.
Okay.
I haven't made any of those yet. This one's got every wide dog's B, and then you're gonna get wide dog's A, or
So
wide
all-
dog's lion,
But
or,
all the wide dogs are together? Okay.
unless the computer screwed it up. But there's been nothing taken off of this deal.
So this is
Safety
wide
did a
dog
nice
A.
job of not showing this wide dog's B. Run through the B gap. And this is why 14, watch 14 how quick he is. That guy's a big man now.
How big is he?
The quarterback's 250.
No, I mean 14.
He's 6'4", he played at 240, but he's at about 263 now.
And how fast would you say he is?
4'6".
How fast is Allsbury to run, Jim?
You got 4.6,
Pike?
4.6.
Now, this corner at the bottom, I told you going in this game plan, if a wide receiver lined it up in a wing, we would banjo the corner and the free would banjo the tight end and the wide out, and whoever had the back had the back. But if the wide out started outside, because they're going to do a lot of motion in with angle stuffs, two safeties had the banjo on the fullback and the tight end, just like I showed you in wide dogs on the board, and the corner's supposed to stay with it all the way. Well, the problem is this corner didn't practice at all.
So if you're getting a bunch looking, in other words, what you're saying, that's
Yeah.
how you do it. You keep the banjo, corner just fights through all of it to this guy.
Now the nice thing is banjo it turns into a zone look anyway, but what we wanted to happen was this guy to stay with him, and the free and the weak would have a banjo, which you can see if you, let's run him back here, you can hear him talking here, you can see him talking here. They got a banjo, they got the tight end and this is number 14, this is a wide
So
receiver.
is this a wide smoke, right?
Yeah, this is wide dogs.
Wide dog.
The way this should have happened, he should have stayed with him. Reggie should have had the tight end, cheated over late, and Curtis has first back out because they had a banjo. What we needed the corner to do is just stay with this guy. As we'd watched, they didn't, because this guy always went across, they never kept crossing across the field to go to the middle formation and work back out.
If that tight end runs a corner, you're just a little weak on it.
Well, you're going to have, he needs to get it over faster.
Just like he's doing.
You know, I don't know if he read eyes, throw, you know, he starts to break and then he comes back. And that's why he will not get drafted. He tackled terrible this year. Whoops. What was the call?
Okay, middle of the field now, you're not going to call wide.
No, this was a mistake on my part. They just knew it was closer, so they considered this wide because on the goalpost. Again, they cut it quick, but weak safety has the tight end. Free safety has number 2
Right.
because we're always going to give the remaining linebacker the back so he can play the run.
And at the top, on your bell technique, and he's in man with no help, you don't mind this guy getting outside leverage with that much boundary over there.
I wish he would man flip this and
Oh, okay.
like this one down here did.
Right.
This is Shannon Brazil, coach. 41. This walk-on linebacker here that we ended up putting on scholarship.
48.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the fit, now the end coming down here.
Over here on this side.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
Well, the guy turned down on him, so he's going to squeeze him. But again, the other thing he can do is what?
Underneath it.
He can go in and come. He's got a free, so he can go in ahead and come on
But
underneath.
you got a linebacker.
linebacker
in that
that
gap,
gap.
Yeah,
right?
which is the problem that you have on anytime something like this happens. See, they're again, they have no idea. They have no idea. It's a blitz. That's
the thing you said before is you can call it where you get your nose.
where you can loop around. You can do all kinds of things not to create that problem. That's why in a split inside, it's not always bad. You could also drop that guy because he's an extra guy anyway at pass shows. They're going to three-way this because they're in a bunch. It's kind of basically what three-way means. We're going to zone it off. They had us picked a little bit on the backside back here. He needed to know the tight split and get out of the way of it. Luckily, you'll see here that's not, he was expecting, I think, tight end, young quarterback was not looking, he should have been looking out here faster.
So is your three-way executed correctly at the top?
Yeah, because the guy ends up, it's a very fine line. I can't really say much to him because of what the guy's protecting. But it really, would you like to have been, he would have had him and this guy going ahead and take this right here.
Right.
Here we caught him blitzing and they try to run the option. Well, they run this little fumblerooski play.
Pirates.
That guy's good now, 14. Kickoff return and punt return, we couldn't tackle. Came from some junior college, Mississippi. Now, again, going by man banjo rules going in this ball game, we decided he is a wing, so the weak safety in the corner is supposed to banjo this. Linebacker, you can see him cheat. He has the back. And we got dogs called, and luckily we hit the guy so he can't get the ball up. He can't find who's open. But watch, corner doesn't play part of it. Here's the banjo. Okay. Weak safety held up his side of the deal on the banjo. Corner needs to take the tight end. See, linebacker, what's linebacker? He has who he's supposed to have.
Go back
Luckily,
to your call.
huh?
Go back to the call a second.
Field G aim.
It looks probably had a blast on it.
No, because the tight end's at the bottom.
And this guy outside him.
Probably thinks he's a wing. Does he get some kind of wing adjustment there?
Yeah, we did some of it. I don't know the fact. It's not on the call, though. Could be just Aaron.
Would you ever consider checking three-way there with that bunch set, tight
Yes, you
end,
could.
tight split, and
Kind of
press
like
that?
checking cover 5. Kind of like checking squats and has over there if you're in zone.
Should the tackle on the bottom, should he be cross facing this guard with the aim on the shade? Or is he in a G?
He's in a G.
Should he
He should cross the
cross
face.
face?
Yes. Yeah, and that's the whole thing about pressure. You can see him talk. They didn't have a banjo. He had the tight end. He had the fullback and wide dogs. As soon as he started motion, see, they went to a banjo here because you got dogs at the top.
Beautiful.
Now, what I don't like about this, I didn't like this guy's angle. his angle is 2 yards outside the tailback because he's the pitch player because he's coming on a smoke. But when this guy motions over, what he should have did is widen himself so he could keep a good leverage.
Now, with the near back, now is he going to go 2 yards outside the near back?
Yeah, well, it still should be the deepest. Should still be the deepest guy, but the aiming point needs to make sure that he can keep contained. That is, without seeing any more and coaching too much in it.
They want to get more than 3 yards up the field.
Exactly. Now because it's a smoke and he has the banjo, see, he's the smoke, so he knows he's a pitch. He's actually the quarterback player also, because it gets pitched early. He reacts.
Right.
That was a critical game because they just scored to make it 14-21. They kicked an onside kick and got it, and that was a 3rd and 1 call. Now the whole thing, going back to what you said, Coach Darnell, every time in 3rd and short, 95% they went speed option. Again, see, they tried to swoop it, and they did not account for the guy. Again, I would have really liked this. Now, this is a wide dog's call. I would have really liked this if this guy would have started even maybe a little bit deeper. He's trying to give a blue look, but he could have given a 5 look, so then there was no chance of the guy throwing a fade, knowing he had the back. Because in this ball game, he actually doesn't have. He has this guy up here. We said the back, whoever the linebacker wasn't going, if they gave us split backs, had the dog to his side. See how they're talking? Now here's going to come that vertical and dig, which vertical and dig is very good against robbers, but it's not real good against man coverage. Main max protected. See, this is 11 personnel. There's a tight end in the backfield. You can see they're a little bit bigger than we are. Let's see what the call was. It's still, these are field G aim or field aim wide dogs B. 0 press here. This was a pick and they didn't give it to us. See, he didn't read this as zone. He thought it was man. He thought it was zone. And the corner steps up. You'll see on the end zone, we caught it first, and they said it was simultaneous. His ass didn't catch any of it. Now we got a field name, so we shouldn't be crossing the face. Should be in a shade and come back.
What do you got here now?
We have wide dogs,
Field aim.
field aim, wide dogs B. Again, we go back to 111 passes completed under 5 yards because you're getting into a lot of slants if you're in blitz. Two back again. If this guy will show a little bit better half, and they've got a banjo, and he's got the fullback, and him in the free. His remaining linebacker has the tailback. They don't know. They don't know. This is that looks like 2-5. It looked like 2-5 right off the bat, and you never know. Let's look at the press technique at the bottom. Not bad. Good open step and a good jam with his hand. The other thing with dogs you got to understand, when you play man, you're bringing 4 from the side, especially with 2 back. A whole bunch of other people are showing up because they got 2 of those guys. Right. Oops. Not real good to run outside zone into smoke. See, Russell does a great job down here because he don't give it away to the last moment. And you look at this. What do you think it looks like? Could have been blue down here because we're going to bail out of it. So it's either going to be blue here and could be blue or 5 at the top. You don't have any idea, and all of a sudden it turns into wide dogs. That's his fault. This is all his fault right here. And why?
You should move over where you can cover.
Yeah, I mean, line for success, my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. You don't think they're having a hard day? Really, I don't like that the weak safety did a whole lot either. I wish he would have started back. I don't know when the camera angle picked it up. I don't know if this has a drop to it or not. They had us a little bit here.
One more time.
Weak safety.
Banjo.
This is a lot better, would have been a lot better call if we were, in this kind of personnel, if we used zone fire instead of zone blitz, instead of zone man. Been better to bring dogs from the field and run like an army, step the end outside and drop him, than running true man with it, because they got the capabilities of max protection and turn it into a one-man route.
Now, the backs, the bottom linebacker here, he's got the tailback, right?
Correct.
Weak safety and the,
Well, they got it, these two got the corner just has him man.
And he has the full, right?
Yeah. Problem is, see, he's not hard focused. Not so much as what they did as how we did it.
one more time.
Good throw and catch.
Say they're running this route here and you just, say you're in two blue,
Yep,
okay? They would switch that.
yep, he'd be back here. Because he went deeper, the linebacker's gonna run under. The corner's gonna be late because the guy goes 5 yards, so he's gonna hold off the Boyd route. And the safety's gonna get over the top. He's gonna go to one.
How good of players does UTEP have?
I tell you what, they're probably one of the more physical teams we played against. They were ranked in the top 15. Their wide receivers were probably in the top 4 people we played. You know, and they've always had athletes. The problem, Ben, has always been any continuity because they've recruited JC guys, but what they've done since Coach Stoll and the AD and Coach Bailey is they've gone back to recruiting high school guys. And with the 85 scholarships, they got a freshman linebacker that started for them this last year. Is really good. He's about 6'3", about 235.
White Dogs DPS, what's that? What does that say?
Well, that means drop, but I don't think that's. I don't.
The linebacker that had the back on the previous play, Gary, the back blocked your blitzing dog backer, so he became part of the blitz here.
Well, he'll blitz engage. He'll go to him. He'll go to his guy.
He just saw that he blocked the other backer, so he might as well go right.
Yep. What we try to do is not allow him to pick somebody else up.
Yeah.
Now, on your wide dogs or tight dogs or any of the unbalanced stuff, tight end over or tackle over, doesn't present a problem?
No, because we just won't call a formation blitz where the wide and short will be part of it. It would present more of a problem if you were in T or split.
Flip.
Yep.
Or zero. Oh, zero. Yeah, flip. One more time, please.
Corner showed too early at the top. This one did. Lucky didn't stay up and run corner out. That's what I'd done. Not good by the linebacker.
What's he doing?
It's an A gap. He should be right here.
Looks like he's blitzing almost.
Yeah, he has the back.
He's got the tail back, right?
Correct. needs to keep man eye. See, getting back in, the free safety had to help him. Free safety has the fullback, could have helped us on the quarterback sprint out. We get 2-5 spit outside, and the quarterback ends up coming underneath. See it from the end zone view.
You guys get pretty good crowds there, Gary?
Not the way it should be.
Is it getting better?
26th,
Is what you average?
26, which is a lot better than when we got there. They were only averaging like 3,000 season ticket holders. I think we're up to 14,000, 13 or 14,000. Problem is we just can't get the numbers. But I think if we could start out early, we'd have a chance. Okay, here you got one back. You got wide dogs. You end up against North Texas here. They end up running the option, and again, you always build in the blitz. You build in option responsibilities because they had a tight end slot. You can see here weak safety because it's one back. He has him right here.
This is Darrell Ray's team.
Yeah.
Now on your dogs, again, that safety can read out if it's flow away. I mean the inside linebacker.
Him? Yeah. Well, not in dogs.
He's got the bag.
When he was
Only what?
wrapping around the C gap, he could do it. Like when he's going to cross a couple people, but he's not going to do it when we're just gap controlling because
Okay, so it was only.
that's when that tackle, that end was coming down. He was wrapping clear around it like a Noki stone would be inside.
Okay.
Because now he's going 2 gaps out. We allow him to come back because there's people crossing. Like this, he can't. Now we'd like for him to do is step back in down here and pin would make a hell of a lot more sense.
You still going up there, Kyle?
Again, here they tried to run smoke draw, and that's one of the reasons why TCU always had trouble with it. It's hard to run it into 8-man fronts, and I think the quarterback's a little bit shook. Field G Army, 4-man slant because of option. Field G Army, wide dogs B.
If that the offensive tackle steps down, the B gap is closed. Just tell him to go around the outside shoulder. Huh?
Well, just, yeah.
Find a window.
Biggest thing, we have no help. You better get going. Bad blitz.
What should have happened here? You got a
Should
fire.
have came from a thigh. The linebackers fall here though.
I'm talking about the tackle blocking out. Now you're
He should
safe.
come underneath it.
Right. We got a fire call here or not?
Well, he should have. Would have helped this situation.
Don't forget, without looking at this thing, silver's on most of these.
Yeah, we're not running option. This is a good play. Linebacker's job here, he loses sight of his back, so he starts going to flow. About runs back here, backside safety that has man that's hanging ends up helping us here. We had a guy straight to the ball that should have been wide ass open.
All right, so let's look at this a second. Just, I mean, this is not nickel.
Dime.
You got a free,
2 backers, 3 down.
you got a free here, so obviously,
So
We're this in our dime.
Okay.
We got wide dogs called, so the other S strong safety comes over, because this way we normally line up to zone alignment. He came over, and the inside guy runs the dogs. So we're in 0 free here.
Okay, so starting here at the bottom, you got the corner.
Strong safety, free, weak, and corner. No silvers in this game because Tulsa runs speed option. So normally, this end,
Flare, flare.
yeah,
on the crack.
would help out on the crack. Nice job of disguise. Again, they put formation in the boundary. They're in a lot of trouble here. Wish he cheated over here. It should be about a 2-yard gain if he'd stay where he needs to be. Scoop and score. You can see this just goes from the last game of the season all the way to the first to all of our dogs, all the wide dogs. This is what probably makes us the best. Ball's thrown. Run.
This guy, your smoke part of it, is this a little bit wider than you'd like for him to be?
Well, it's it's a yes and no. Yeah, hardest part here is if he goes too soon, he gets a check. If he doesn't hear a check, he ought to keep cheating more so he doesn't. So you got a better chance of getting
One more
there.
time. So, I mean, really, this isn't any, I mean, in basic concept, this is like Louis Fireman, right?
Yeah. Self-safety.
Here's Fresno.
They got pretty good players, don't they?
Yes, they do, and they're getting better. See, they got
Who's there?
They got a-
head coach?
Pat Hill.
That's where Sweeney
They got
was?
yeah. See, the Pac-10 2 years ago went to where each Pac-10 school could only take 1 prop. So where all of them go? San Diego State and Fresno now. Fresno has a program that they can get a guy in and go to school all year and get full Pell because he's learning disabled. So they're not on scholarship, but they have everything paid for. And then after the first year, like they're number 34, the one tailback. So they got they take about 8 to 10 prop
You know what else
kids.
they can do? They can bring them in during the summer.
That's exactly
Bring
around that.
Senior guys, they can bring a senior high school guy, they got them there all summer long.
And pay for it?
What's that same deal as a Pell Grant thing? So it's a LD thing, so they got all kinds of guys running around there. They're a marshal all the way.
Yeah.
Marshall set in California.
is Arkansas State.
Have you talked to your boy lately? Bobby?
Nice job here.
Disguising?
Disguise him as a great job of stripping. One of the deals we do in our strip where the second guy, you know, you get it. And
What's Willie? Is that drill I talked about up there? Willie, what do you call it? I mean, the angle thing? They went across the...
Oh, yeah.
one of the things we got from the Broncos 2 years ago was the second guy in comes in and pulls the elbow out and knocks the hand down. So it's like this. And I tell you what, that's an amazing deal now. You can't believe how many times the ball just falls around.
Okay, now we've always talked about elbow up, but what's the second part?
Elbow up and pull the arm down so you feel like the guy feels like he's getting his arm broke. You don't even touch the ball. It's elbow first, so it come in and go boom.
I didn't hurt you.
Yeah, go back and feel it. don't you?
Yes. They have no choice. No, that's second guy in. That's especially an inside play. That's
Tight one. What in what type of that? Jiu-jitsu or something? You know what I'm saying? Probably went to one of those classes and learned that move and incorporated it into football.
anyway, kind of getting the concept of the dogs. This guy should have made the play here. Now they didn't get a banjo here because the backs are set weak. So here's the weak safety, and the free safety has the tight end.
Elwood?
Yeah, they got to come to our house this year. And I tell you what, it was not an easy trip because I tell you they had played Memphis, Mississippi, and somebody else. And I mean, all 3 games before we played them, they got beat by about 3 points. And they had Mississippi down 21. They had Mississippi down 21-7. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. And we're 1-2. Actually, we're 0-2 going to their place. Actually, we traded it for Idaho.
Fly in.
Memphis. Yeah. We had some bad road trips last year. Fresno, Hawaii, Arkansas State. Arkansas State we got back at 3. Fresno we got back at 4. Never got back in Hawaii. But the lucky thing is that we had some smart people that changed it. We were supposed to play SMU after play Hawaii, and they moved it to a day after Thanksgiving, so we had an off week.
Yeah.
Boy, was that nice.
What was this in
21-0.
And lost your safety on this one with the boot. It looked like he may have peeked in the backfield. But it looked like he closes quick though.
Well, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were a physical team early as we played. This guy's a redshirt freshman running back. He's about 6'2", 230 pounds, and he outran our 4-4 free safety on an ISO. Here's zone fire. Here's with a 3-strong drop. So we're zoning it, rolling the 3 here.
Is that front side linebacker coming on a blitz or he's just reading?
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, he's a blitz.
So this is-
Wide dogs.
What,
Here was what I was going to tell you, Chuck. Here's a 3-strong drop with a field wide dogs Army stepping outside, and then he's the drop guy. We're rolling the 3-strong. Here's the free safety rolling up the flat. He's going to get through the middle.
what's that, Jim, for us, 30,
It's fire zone.
I know, front-wise.
Almost like a stroke for us, Jeff.
That's why we don't get a lot of 20 personnel where they give us 2 split insides, even our offense, because you're just setting yourself up for a whole bunch of people coming off the edge. short edge as far as the run game is concerned.
Yeah, I've known some people that as soon as they get 20, they're going to double smoke. I
Yeah.
mean, right now.
To see why we've really gone, I haven't run a lot of double smoke in the last 4 or 5 years, is because of cutback. Of getting it,
Against 20 or just run double smoke?
just double smoking.
Well, you got a million double smokes on this freaking.
Oh, we do, but you won't, you won't have, you won't have 100, there's 114 just wide dog, I mean, dog wise. Which we could look at the smoke ride, and you watched this morning, there wasn't 114 reps of smokes, was there? Double smokes? Well, you didn't watch the smokes, you just watched bullets this morning, didn't you?
No, I didn't watch bullets or smoke.
Oh, I thought you said you watched one of the
I don't
bullets.
think you have a bullets or a smoke one.
Yeah, we got a bullets one because you're gonna pick it up. You gave it to him to copy.
Okay. Yeah, what I was watching was, I was watching your, not in here right now. Let's look at that. So really, we only saw wide dogs, we never saw short dogs or.
No.
But a dog's a dog.
Same
Dog's a dog.
Dog's a dog. Did you rewind that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, really good.
Sworn to secrecy, Coach. You don't let cut-ups go now, I'm letting them copy it, I just say that, you wanna give me, just tell Fran I let him copy the cut-ups. It kicked my ass.
So out on spring break this week? What are you gonna do when you go back?
Play with the boys, we're probably gonna go to Kansas for 2 or 3 days.
Kansas?
See
Rosa?
Josh, go see Josh.
Rosa?
Yeah. Hang around, play around. Go back, maybe even actually play some golf. I got it. Scram doesn't let anything left my office.
If you were going to do a playbook, and I kind of got it set up like, that instead of all the different lines going across, if Z went across, what the check would be, if the back went that way, what the check would be, that trade, tap, etc. I'm thinking maybe you almost need something on one side and something on the other side.
Yeah,
Because, for example, if you got this right here, say the call at the top was 2-5 solo. Okay, so we call that fly motion. Okay, so fly would be
check solo.
solo. Right. Counter fly would be blue.
Or were you in 5?
Yeah, say we were two blue, sky, solo.
Or 2 blue? Yeah, it could be blue, could be Bronco.
Okay, so originally we're in sky, yeah.
Could be in sky, so you could go back to blue or Bronco.
Tap motion, we'd go check
Check
read
2,
right.
read right. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this will work.
Is there any particular reason why you don't do a notebook? Secrecy.
One of the other interesting things they do is he doesn't script anything. Offense scripts, but he doesn't script.
Only time I ever script is if they'll give me personnel.
We get the personnel every time.
But scrimmages, they won't.
Yeah,
They
we
don't give me
don't
personnel.
scrimmage either.
What during the week during practice?
We work against, if we work against them, sometimes, if not, if they won't give me personnel, then I just call it.
No, but when you do it, you're just your regular
Like Paskelly, I've never scripted Paskelly in 10 years.
scout skillet?
Scout Skelly I did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Scout Skelly, anything that we're
Scout,
working for
anything,
scouts
yeah.
out, but against our offense, I don't script. I just, because like if they come out pro, I know I want to play pro type, 21 personnel. They come out and one back, we're going to hear more solo calls, special calls, all that kind of stuff.
Let's just put one of these in here before you go to, put this in here. I was watching this morning. Practice.
Number 3?
Yeah, practice number 3. Just so these guys can get an idea of what your half line stuff looks like.
Sure.
Yummy, yum. Yummy, yum.
You got it, Kyle?
So you can see all of us, we've got our GAs throwing the route. You're getting a China call. Here's your China call by the strong safety, running the hitch and with the corner. You can't see the corner sinking.
Dennis likes half line for his option, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So you're matched up with the offense when you wanna do this
Yeah.
with each other, is that right?
Yeah. Doesn't need to let him out, that's correct. You can see here, if he needs to make sure the guy can't get outside leverage, always in cover 5, and see how the free safety's looking to 1 right now.
Is that Craig Wynn over there on the sideline?
He's in Detroit.
I'm asking you. You remember who Craig Wynn was?
Yeah. No, it's not.
He's in Detroit.
Is he really?
He's come over to see us once. That's all about
You
you.
look at some guys
How
on.
about Lenny
Now-
Meredith? Where's he these days, Gary?
Kansas City. He's getting an in call, see how the strong safety's eyes get to it. This run, we don't run vertical. It's a lot easier to do this.
Would you want your corner to be squeezing 1, checking 3?
Not
having a flow?
5.
Okay.
Now blue 2, he's got man clue principles, he dig back to it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but your 5 coverage is 2 read, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Cover 2, and you're reading for, you're either gonna be in a quarters look, or you're gonna be in the,
Well, we're hitting him in the mouth though. You know, cover 5 is we're trying to start a squat, but unless time number 2 is the outside, we're gonna keep sinking with number 1.
okay, say that again now,
We're gonna try to hit you in the mouth.
okay?
It just, the difference is, a lot of people play cover 5, that guy will never sink deep. Where we actually are gonna sink with number 1, unless number
We
2
might wanna
comes
spend a little
outside.
time on that, 'cause
Huh?
that's- We might wanna spend a little time on that, because I like the idea, if you can hit them and still do it.
Well, here's the whole thing, we started when we taught us, is in New Mexico, we might have to hold the ball for 6 seconds, we couldn't get a pass rush with a 4-man. So I wasn't gonna live with playing squats and halves and only have 2 guys deep, we were gonna sink with them. That meant we had to give up the out a little bit. If it happened deeper down the field, then I was gonna live with it, but I'm not gonna live with vertical touchdowns. This is the one thing we play the worst.
5,
Yeah. Our outside guys, and see, he should have shut his feet down, and he did, and then he needs to be driving on this as soon as the ball's thrown. Again, that goes back to when we're playing a half, if you don't send 2 guys vertical, we're not playing deep. And we're gonna start sitting down in zones and what our reads tell us to go.
even with your half guy, you're saying.
Yeah.
You ever
I mean,
get
this is
foul
pretty
balls
damn
that
slow.
don't run you?
Now here, see, you're getting, see, even at half, number 2 runs now, the corner's getting a wheel call. So every time
Say
number
again
2, blue and 5, the free safety is giving the weak safety are giving wheel calls to the corner if he gets an outside route. So the corner's always hearing what number 2 does all the time. If he comes outside, so you know he's threatened.
How many guys, numbers wise, do you have out for spring practice?
We got 104.
You got 104.
You'd be surprised how many kids walk on, pay $25,000 to come walk out and play football.
Well, I am. Those are scout guys, huh? It's not something that happened, that's something you want.
Run that back, man, you got two verticals here, but you really only got one
That's
vertical
bad.
player.
And he's bad.
Which one?
This one's bad and he's bad.
Who was worse?
Number 1 I don't like, this one I don't like. They don't understand, don't let them knock your shoulder down. If he just keeps himself squares and makes the guy go around him, you give yourself a better chance. Our corners just are not, they're just not very physical. About as easy as I can say it.
Run that one back.
You think they're brotherhood in that deal? Now see, the nice part about this drill is that I get it bound and I'm looking on this side and I hear all the calls I need to hear. I should have heard a wheel. I need to hear a wheel call. I need to hear a China call if that guy would sit down. Here's a China call by the safety running into quick. Corner sinks. Linebacker runs with number 3 vertical. So we always put the back in there. So even if he blocks out with, then the guy will open and drop straight back.
Now, how is your own players knowing what routes to run?
because I got managers back here with half zone cards.
Okay.
One manager over here, one manager over there. If we're running 2 in blue cards, which you know they're softer zones, I got certain routes that hurt them. Then when we're playing, we were going to teach cover 5 that day. They've got cover 5 in those folders, and they pull out the cover 5 cards. And
Is
they're
that a stockpile?
yeah.
Like you move them.
And then when we get into game week, what'll happen is, if you know how they do it, we'll run routes that hurt you, but then we'll also run routes to overflow what they do all the time. So if they're a big hitch and corner team, there might be more of an emphasis on hitch and corner within the half zone routes.
Do we still have our books, Willie, with those?
What's, Knox
Yeah.
has it.
Yeah, we do the same thing. We have half line stuff, combination routes going up on both sides, pivot corner, curl flat.
Bigger corner, a lot more physical. You can see he has more of a jam.
China Cole?
China, better get there. Be hard for him to ever get to that. Wheel, turns half into robber. See how when number 2 runs it out? He just opens up like he does in robber. Swing deep for 2 by the corner. Again, going back to the principle of, should have came back to football. Going back to the principle of teaching pass like the run, which I don't think a lot of people do sometimes. Now again here,
What do you talk like that? Say that.
well, you know, forever since I've grown up, you know, you went from individual one-on-one run reads, you know, a defensive lineman versus a one-on-one base block, reach block, cutoff. Then you went to 2-on-1.
Right.
So then you know learned how to cross fade, pull, cut, and all that. Then you went to half line or pod, even more than that, and then you went to middle drill, and then you went to team. Well, in pass, early we never, a lot of places I've ever been, or even ever talked to, pass you come out, and you might do a half skilly, you went from individual to pass skilly. You never ever took it to where you broke it down to where we might even be a 3-on-2, we might just be doing half the corners and us working, talking routes. With just the safeties in the corners, linebackers not even part of it. To where we try to go from individual to our own little drills, to this half zone drill, to pass skilling, to half line pass versus the option, then full skill against the option, and then team pass. Lot better job here, because he got him clear the sideline, he's allowed to open up the inside.
That's logical.
It's funny because you say it like that, I don't know of anybody who's never not done that.
Yeah, me neither.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I mean, as a secondary coach, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Do your individuals, then you do your
Oh yeah, you have been, but
defense, and
here's,
then you do your combination half stuff, and then you go to your,
see, well, I guess I've never been any place where it became such a communication thing on a half side of the field where you heard all the talking. I don't ever remember doing it at Kansas State,
doing
this,
half line stuff.
half skelly.
Well, I don't know if we ever did it against the offense last year. But we always were
Did we?
combination sides.
That was a long time
I
ago.
do that in most stuff.
I just don't remember as an outside linebacker ever working with the guys behind me doing it. I'm sure as a skelly you did, but I'm saying where you put it together that way.
Working all the routes, combinations.
As a secondary coach, I've always done it.
It's the only way you can. In this quarter.
And you can hear 2 disappears, just like Robert, if he doesn't think he's coming up, he looks to 1, which is the same thing he would do in blue. I should have thrown this.
Why don't you fast forward this, Gary, just so they get the idea for the next drill.
Gotcha.
We started doing all the zones, all the time combinations.
But I watched all those this morning, and I'll tell you those,
Yeah, they come and bring the defensive
you
line.
I'm
didn't have your
interested-
first
I'm
practice,
interested-
I would have been interested to see that, because that
Yeah,
was.
I was looking for it. That was the one because you saw Robert coverage versus 4 wides.
Because it was, the first day they just put in robber as a single call, and I wanted to see what that looked like. Second day you were working blue, a whole bunch of blue,
Because
and
that's,
then this day was 5.
yeah.
And then once you've got that in, once you've got 2, 5, and blue in, then you've got your,
Right,
you've got your combinations.
Yeah, then
You've got
you
your
just
9 combinations.
then every day, safety and corner coach, we work
So many people down.
That's what we work every day. plus man. Okay, here's Oklahoma.
And that's not a take them to the ground drill, right?
No, and they're supposed to stay within the cones, but that don't ever happen either.
So this is this early in practice?
Yeah, this is about, well, practice 9 or 10. Because we've already done individual, this is gonna happen after we already
Period
went.
9 or 10, you mean?
Huh?
Period 9 or 10?
Because we go 5 periods?
Yeah, you said practice 9 or 10.
No, period 9 or 10.
Well, I thought you did, but, okay. What is this, like a 5-minute period?
Yes, it is. 5 minutes, high reps, there's 4 or 5 lines. Here's our 3 technique. It's
Pretty good lockout.
Going
Okay, I just wanted these guys to see.
yeah, come out. Then we have the linebackers are down here versus the tight ends.
Uh-huh. So it's really offensive line, tight ends, linebackers, defensive line. And then running backs running the ball for them?
Yeah, and
Wideouts?
sometimes the running backs are somewhere else, they'll put linemen back there, but our guys don't really like that because those guys don't have any timing to it at all.
Jim, on some of this tape, they got a thing painted on their field you've probably seen before.
The hoops?
No, yeah, I guess it's hoops. They got like
Oh, the thing the Steelers had?
5 boxes, I guess, like that.
Yeah,
And then each one of them has a shoot
Path.
like out of it.
yeah, we had that. Yeah, we brought it back from
It
Steelers.
might be something you might want to get them to put on the ground out there for you, you know. Come up with a schematic. But also, you know what else he does, watching that defensive line tape this morning? That's where he does a lot of his stunts, you know, because it's, instead of having trash cans, he's got the blocks
Bad by
on
the
the
3.
ground.
Shouldn't pull across.
Okay, now what is this here?
We call this half line run.
Half line run. Now, who's all there? Because I don't think the secondary is there originally.
No, we'll come, a strong safety will sometimes come and play hip in blue, like he's a blue player like versus the pro set.
Uh-huh.
Most time it's always, you can see it's gonna be 5 on 3 or whatever it's gonna be here. And then there's another one going on right over here, that's the way side.
I saw that.
Eagle side, 50 side.
Right.
And they'll get, each group will get about 6 or 7 plays in 5 minutes.
Okay. And then the next day, do you switch sides?
Yeah, then we'll put it on the other side, the 3 technique on the other side. Thing I don't, myself defensively, I don't like to make the drill better. They spend most of their time, all it is a fit by D lineman. Because most of the time they fit in the inside zone, everything cuts out the back end.
Uh-huh.
And you can't train this lineman to cross that much space because he's got to fit A gap. If he doesn't,
Right.
now you get him late once the ball goes back across. If you want to make me perfect, I would like him to start the zone this way, and everybody's zone step, and then cut back, even though they're saying doesn't, because that's where we have the most trouble with the inside zone is when they cut it back to the 3 technique, not at the G.
Are you 67 getting cut off? Okay, go ahead and run this baby through here, and let's see what the next drill is.
Yeah.
Well, see, now you got a safety there.
Yeah, what happened was this lasted, I had my safeties do one-on-one blocking versus the wide receivers. So the strong safeties were first in the line, and then when I got done, they all stayed, and I brought the strong safeties down here to get some fold-over reps.
That's the Woody side there.
This is Aaron's fault, he pulled himself out of the C gap. See, it's not a real productive drill, because when there used to be, they never had a tight end on the 50 side, so we could work 5 technique.
Yeah.
But really, if they're going to have it here, you should always have a safety, because but anyway.
You got 7 against 3 right now.
Yeah. Which, if you go into the deal that we're going to make practice harder than games, I guess it fits that.
Okay, now you got a safety in there.
Yep.
You got your one-on-one stuff here.
One-on-one, going both sides.
Now, you're not down there for that.
I'm at this, yes.
You're at this. Oh, that's right, because you did it at a different time. And now, we just saw your half line run. Do you do a full middle drill?
Here in a second.
Which average have to go here?
4.
That's that your new building going up down there? or
Yeah, that's gonna be the new football offices.
It'll be done when?
July 15th is what they're saying. The whole wall and everything's done now. They've got all the brick on the outside.
Oh, somebody's doing push-ups.
Yep, if they drop a ball or we drop a ball, everybody's doing push-ups.
Everybody?
No fumbles, no drop balls. Wide receivers, running backs, DBs, if you don't catch a ball,
Okay, so if I drop an interception, all the DBs do push-ups?
no,
Or
that
just
guy's
me?
doing them.
Okay.
Depends how pissed you are, from 20 to 50.
Uh-huh. What were you telling, tell Gary what, there's what I was talking about, Jim, the,
Yeah, yeah.
Hanukkah candle. Tell Gary what you were telling me about what Dennis does if a guy
Oh,
fumbles the
oh,
ball.
running backs?
Yeah.
So if he gets real pissed at him, he'll take it, and everybody else will be scrimmaging, doing everything. He takes a running back and starts throwing, makes him go the length of the field, tossing on the ball and jumping on it. They don't like that very well.
This has always been tough on that. He's always been tough on fumblers.
How many fumbles you have this year, Gary?
I don't, well, we had 19 or 18 turnovers overall because we were +4. A year ago, the tailback only fumbled one time. The quarterbacks fumbled like 8.
Uh-huh.
This year, tailback I think had 4.
All right, so this is your middle drill now, right?
Yeah, we got 3 of them going on at one time. This is ones versus ones. At the same time, twos are down here on this other field, and 3s are over here on another field.
Okay, so you're at one, linebacker?
No, actually, I'm at none of, right now, it's D-line coach is here, the linebacker coach is at the other one, and my GA's coaching the 3s.
Okay.
And then I am able to walk to all 3 of them and watch.
Is this scripted?
Yeah, we just play tight G. They script, but we just play tight. We don't play, we're gonna play 6 in the box. We're gonna make it as hard as we can on us defensively.
Tight G,
That's it.
well, coverage wise.
Oh, I just make them play cover 2, just play
Okay.
sky, and they can't be part of the, they can't make any tackles. All I want them to do is fit.
All right, so, this is against 22 personnel right here.
Yes.
All right, so this is a reading left.
It's as hard as you can be defensively because there's 8 blockers on 6 on inside running game.
Well, you're going to that tight end back there, you keep, are you treated like it's a front side of pro each side? Are you 3x7 there on both sides?
Yeah, because that's what it is when you're a robber across the board, 3x7. Because we're just treating it like, I tell them to not be part of the drill, so they treat it like it's a 1 back and there's a wide out to each side. If this was a real world, this guy, if it was flanker was over here, this guy could be right here.
3x3.
But if I put him there,
And those guys are whiz, whoops, what was it? Why whiz? I mean, they don't touch them?
yeah, all they do is fit. They're going to fit up to him, but they're not going to thud him. Or I'll end up losing them. I won't get a chance to bring them in this drill.
Okay, so run that back a second, just run that back a second. 29 out here, the left safety.
That's our strong.
All right, watch him here. This is a fit up. Watch, just watch him.
No.
Was that-
And if he does
So
that
you-
about
you
one more
warned him.
time, yeah.
Okay.
You-
That's the same, we really don't even want him to touch him.
Well, our whole thing is we don't want anybody on the ground.
Yeah, well-
He's sitting here yelling right now, if there's offensive lineman on the ground, defensive lineman on the ground, you better keep athletes stay up.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. You go visit the pros, they do the same thing, screaming, yelling.
Now this is a nice full, like
Oh,
this.
that guy's cutting, you guys are allowed to cut each other?
They are allowed to cut.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Go ahead to your next drill, see what we got going on. What are the corners doing right now? They're over in another field, they're working
they're
on
doing whatever they do. Sometimes they're just doing releases, sometimes they're stock blocking.
press, bump and run?
Yeah, they're working all kinds. Now here's the 2s.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
This happened to
We've
be-
got the scrimmage, so we can watch.
This happened to be a 22 day?
No, that whatever. See, here they're in 12.
Oh, okay.
Good practice fields I got.
1.5, coach, right now until they move the baseball field. Then we'll have 2 fulls. That's a redshirt freshman linebacker, so he'll be really good.
Kevin Tower Farmers is a lift.
No, it's a lift. All of them are lifts. So we can move them so if they start wearing out a part of the field, we can. Threes.
And this a 5-minute period? Or 10
Yeah.
minutes?
No, this is a 5-minute period. They're all going on at the same time.
So how many plays you get in 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think they try to get 6 reps.
6, okay, so that's a total of what, 18?
So we get 18.
18 in 5 minutes. And what do we get, Jim? We get 18 in 10 minutes?
No,
What do we get?
maybe 14, yeah, 14.
Oh, that's right, when we go 10
Not-
minutes, it's 8 and 8. We get 16 in 10 minutes.
Because by practice 3, we quit doing half scaling against the offense, so this just went right to
I
full
know,
scaling.
but we get 16 plays with 1 drill. They're getting a total of 18 plays with 3 drills.
Here's
We're getting
roll.
18 in each one.
5.
Say
Nice
it again
job.
now, Gary?
Roll 5.
Okay. Because you didn't have a solo or
Yes,
a
exactly.
Bronco call on the backside.
Today
or
is
special
5.
or anything.
Yeah, that's correct. Check roll of trips.
Okay.
And the other reason is if they get too tight a split, sometimes they'll do that anyway because they're picking you and doing everything else.
Oh, it's a tough route, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things they've been working on, where they sit the guy down.
Yeah.
Solo helps you on.
Guys in white are the extra DBs getting ready to go. That's.
These up here, kickers,
Kickers.
punters, and they have to take a step up and put their hands up.
Is anyone keeping time of the quarterback, you know, how long?
Man free here, huh?
Is anyone?
They got a buzzer back
Do
here.
they? Oh.
Yeah.
You use it?
Well, no, it's just so they know. Here's a 5 solo call.
We don't usually have that problem because our guys throw on timing so much. It's every once in a while, but they'll usually pull it down. If they know what's going on.
Here's a wall.
Nice wall.
And he's a keeper of the zone. You can't let that guy cross.
Yeah, because we were in solo back there that time. Anyway, you want to keep watching this? You want to go on? Go on. Okay.
And then we probably ought to go to this 2 combo tape
Okay.
because you don't have any more. I mean, next thing you're going to have is scrimmage or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to go ahead?
You see the scrimmage?
Yeah, because
So
that's.
you want to see that, or you want to?
Well, yeah, the scrimmage on this one right here. Scrimmage, or you want to see 2 combo?
I don't know.
We can watch both. Now, there's one going to BYU, because I saw him, he's a friend of one of our kids that came to the scrimmage. And let's go ahead and get through. We started with 10 minutes of pass skill here.
Scully, are you thudding them?
No, only if we get there at the same time the ball does, and it's live with the ball, but besides that.
You just touch off with your hands?
Yeah.
Now, Gary, once you get into scrimmage or team plays, how do you guys teach run to the ball? Do you have a double whistle system? Do you just...
Team,
Yeah.
like in scrimmage?
Yeah, more so team.
Yeah, we don't have a double whistle. When we get in a thud, it's just like tackle. First guy gets to him, I mean, you're trying to wrap up. We grade LOEs, meaning lows.
Okay. Do your kids help you with pursuit? I mean, they own each other pretty good?
Yeah, well, and the part is they don't want to run an 8x8x8, because that's what they're going to have to do if they get caught loafing.
So it's an 8x8x8.
That's at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's 8 sets of stadiums, 800 yards of up downs, and going every 10 yards and hitting your stomach in 8 laps. It's like missing a class.
And that would be if they loafed in a team drill.
Anything.
Okay, now just out of curiosity, well, no, I won't say it.
You want to hit it?
No.
Okay, first call we're going to start off here is split G Army, bullets AB. And we were playing 0 fiddle, press. We got a fiddle on the backside on the tight end. Blitz A, B, split G Army.
Now, what made you make that call?
No reason. I wanted to blitz, and that's the only thing that he won't let me bring smokes. I don't really like it versus. I think it kind of shocked him too because
Him being the quarterback or Fran?
him. Well, no, if it shocked Fran, I would have got one of these.
Was that this, or was it this?
It could be either. No, I shouldn't pay him that way. He doesn't. Us on defense, the only time he's ever over there, if we don't stop him, that's what he should be doing. He really pretty much. One of the things he's able to do because he's able to run.
Well, this is your first scrimmage, so.
Yeah. So we didn't tackle very well.
But what's your situation? Is it all first down?
All first down. We're not going to move the football. All we want to do is get good film.
Okay.
And so one of the things I'm going to do, and I actually kind of did it for you guys too, is I want to make a lot of different calls so that you can see a lot of different situations. Now, we've called a power call, but you didn't know it at the top. The call is tight G, and I called power, and we're playing blue, Bronco. Okay? Now, the problem was, and this was a poor job on my part, we're starting where we're going to read blue, like I was telling you, we're going to read the fullback.
Okay.
If he arced, the strong safety is going to run the pitch and free. Well, the problem is, what I forgot and neglected, even in my own mind, that though if you play blue and we play a power call, power automatically tells him he's a what? Quarterback player. So the problem was the free safety was waiting for him to go to pitch, never did. Then all of a sudden it was arc option, and he gets cut because he doesn't get around it because he's waiting too long. And that's what's going to happen here.
But this whole scrimmage is 1st and 10 every play.
1st and 10 every play.
And then how soon down the line do you progress to?
You can see here, they know they better run the football. This guy here will be in trouble, the one that's laying back down here.
Your next scrimmage, Gary, do you do?
Then what we will do is we'll go 6 play sets, and we will move the chains. Along with that one, we'll also at some point in time we'll go down the goal line.
So it's every down.
Every down. So if we stop them in 3 downs, they're going to move the chains back and start over again. If they get a first down, they're going to move.
How many play sets is this one?
6.
6. So they just had a long run, but the ball comes back.
Ball comes back.
Okay.
Because really, the first scrimmage, all we want is teaching film.
Okay.
We want to get it in a situation where we can get the best end zone and the best sideline to teach our
Now,
kids.
against your offense, do you view 1st and 10 as run set?
Yeah. In fact, I will tell you this. This is the first scrimmage in 4 years that it wasn't a bloodletting. Usually he doesn't hardly throw the football at all in it.
Okay.
In this one, we dislocated the starting fullback shoulder in this first series.
Mm-hmm.
We knocked out the starting guard, dislocated his knee in the second series. We lost another tackle on his shoulder, and we lost a wide receiver deal, and pretty much then it became an aerial game. But the problem here is Coach Patterson, because now here's the nice thing, you said a 5 and a 9. See, that safety kept walking. He said power, but see, he keeps walking back, so you don't know what he's going to do. The quarterback's not used to looking at.
I'm telling you, this is exactly why you got to do. Gary remembers this well when we played Tulsa. Gary, and they were a speed option team, and we were taking that 9 technique and taking the quarterback, and that was Mike Kopsky standing back there, and it happened to him about 4 or 5 times. Cut, and about got my ass fired.
Well, here's the other thing about this is.
And I went and visited with Houston, and I can't remember the guy's name. He was a friend of Bump's. He almost went to Wake Forest, or Al's. Yeah, Elon. Anyway, because Houston had run the quarter stuff so much, they said that 9 technique, if that tight end arcs or that fullback arcs, he got to get his ass to the pitch and let your safety fill up inside, and then.
Well, it's going to work well because we've read it. The problem thing I still pissed off with him is he hesitates here.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have ran the sideline, this would have got cut back, and we make the play.
So he thought with the arc initially he had quarterback.
Yeah, he thought he had quarterback, and that was not true because of the power call. Okay, call. It's tight G Tim. 0 fiddle press. Since they came out and we got a fiddle at the top, we're in man at the bottom. Charlie needs to be a little bit tighter. He's trying to get away his own look. Safety.
How much tighter?
Maybe a yard and a half, not much. He just needs to
So
move
you're
up.
off man, you want to be how far, 7?
Usually
Seven.
off man and safeties, we want to be no more than 5 yards off the man. What he's trying to do is,
pedaling out of there fast? or
no,
are
we
you-
slow back pedal. We want him to break our cushion right now.
Even though you got no deep help or anything?
Well, more bad things happen in deep help when you get out fast because you give him a two-way go on an inside guy.
Uh-huh.
We'd rather go slow and make him get on one side of us so that we can play one way or the other. This guy's going to be really good.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. From DeSoto.
The big kid?
Huh?
Is he the real big
6'2",
kid?
6'2 and a half. The other one's 6'4", the other kid. Now see, here we're playing slide to the offset tight end here. Call this split G slide, 2 blue flip Broncos. So we were playing slide, weak safety said slide, and we were playing Bronco, which we're playing it from a press and 2 read and write.
Okay, who's got the first back out week?
Out weak he does.
Weak slate.
How about if you had to put a slide on it and you'd call it Bronco?
And he'd stay back in about 8 yards, 3 by 8 off the end guy in the line of scrimmage right over here. He'd be back here. This guy would be. He'd be here, and well, he'd actually still be there, and this guy
He'd
would be.
have 2 week then, right?
Yeah.
Jim, have you been able to notice a difference in what they do with their 7 techniques? In any of the film we watched?
I mean, they're more up the field for sure.
I mean, you can see it.
Yeah. No doubt. Take it off.
Here is tight, take, blast, bullets, mow, stinger. You saw it on the deal. So tight, take, blast, mow. The linebacker's going to walk out, going to come off and be a quarterback player. Sam's going to run through his gap, and we got a blast at the top. Now, what's this look like?
It's like 2-5.
Yep.
Or maybe blue.
Yeah, it could be blue down here. Either one of them. And if this guy wasn't moving at all, you would never know.
But sometimes he probably does that and then goes back and plays 5, right?
Yep. Exactly. Now see, this guy, this would have been a delay of game. Tried to check it, he said, stay with it.
Where's Dennis right now?
He's standing right somewhere in here. Oh, he's standing there, he's talking back here. This is where George got hurt, the fullback. We already heard him already. This guy did not have a good year last year, 18, the one you saw, tackling. Boy, did he have a good scrimmage. He benched 425 the other day and will probably, I bet, in pro time every day running the 4.4s.
What's your safety?
Free.
How big is he?
Probably 192 pounds,
He
5'11".
benches 425. What did he come into the program benching?
325. Maybe 340, somewhere in there. I'd have to look back at my notes because we keep all that stuff. Here you go. We got 25 solo.
Let me see it again from the start.
We got a solo call.
Read and write.
We got a solo call with a bail call. So we're not pressing the solo. We're bailing it.
Right.
And we're playing 2 over here with the solo call.
Now, did you put that in your call or did you?
Yeah, I put it in the call. I'll
Say
go
it again.
solo bail. I'll go 2-5 solo bail.
Okay.
So if something is checked, that's the only time the corner's really got to look and not tell him. If he knows solo's checked, then he's failing it. Again, now, so they know when we're playing solo, they just can't stand up and throw the fade back there. You got to have to deal with that.
But solo is an automatic press.
Yes, unless I tell them different.
It's interesting because zero's not. Zero's off, right?
Yes.
It's almost like, could have said solo press. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could do it that way too. And solo's off.
Yeah.
You just say
Solo
solo,
golf,
and then
if
it's
I
solo
wanted to
press.
I said solo press.
Good point.
I mean, I'm just,
I'm agreeing with you. The key is predominantly we want to play press out of
so
solo.
that's
So we
why
just,
you.
yeah.
That's why you gotta look at it.
And this guy here's a walk-on also. Trying to work double duty. 33s are starting strong safety because we lost Reggie Hunt. We're in the process of after every 6th place series we kick a field goal
Okay, so you go ones against ones,
all day.
and then twos against twos.
Now here's 2s.
And then threes against threes,
3s against
and
3s.
then ones against ones.
Ones against ones.
So you
We
ones
went
end up
90
getting-
some place.
So you ones end up getting
Some are-
30 some place.
Well,
Or
number
90 some.
14 and 95, they got 10.
Okay.
They got 10 plays. That's all they got to play. And they got to
Average
stick.
franchise.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw number 5, the running back here, the one that's up. They're going to push for the Heisman. He ain't not going to get 1 rep. When we get to scrimmages, he don't play. Now me, 95 can't handle it. He needs to play the whole scrimmage because he doesn't handle things like that. He doesn't know how to be then a good leader and talk him up and keep enthusiasm. He'll go stand by himself.
So basically, you came out, ran a little, did you have a little individual, then a little pass scout? and then
Little
ran
individual, little
someplace?
pass skilly, and went right into it. Because you know what I was.
What we do right on.
My whole thing we used to do special teams. I used to do special teams.
Uh-huh.
And my biggest gripe was all defensive guys on special teams. If you want to do it, then let's do special teams at the end. But you know, you got guys running punt, kickoff return. I mean, we did it for years and it worked with it. The biggest thing was our kids were tired when they got to skilling. I mean, when they got to scrimmage. Now we have done it where we punt after every 6th place set and stuff too.
I think we kind of split it up. We do some special teams, then we scrimmage, and then we do come back and do more special.
Well, that's a good
teams.
idea too.
that
So you're not so much.
What was the call
The call is 2 blue sky.
there?
Corner needs to be inside. Young corner, he needs to be inside. 2 reading left, we've got a sky call on the backside. This is a new week
So
safety.
considering that an over split at the top, that's why he's so far inside up there, the corner?
Yes. Yeah, for whatever reason, he checked this. He checks this like he thinks we're blitzing. And we're not even coming. See, Fran's trying to tell him, Fran's trying to tell him to do something, and it's,
22. We got some kind of bullets coming.
this is split G Army. So since there's 2 tight ends, it's a rip call because split is always going to be considered weak.
Right.
Split G Army, 4-man rotation going to the field, and then they're running AB, the linebackers are. And we're playing 0 fiddle press here.
You got bullets, right?
Yes, split G Army, bullets, AB.
Okay, so you've wristbanded that in.
Yeah.
Split G.
In fact, that
Army,
is bullets number 2.
Bullets number 2. Okay, now, they've come up and the first thing they've said is rip, rip, rip. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I gotta say.
That's it.
When Sam's running the B gap on the bullets, he's gonna widen his alignment,
Yeah,
just so he has leverage on that gap.
sometimes,
Why would he?
we would do, well, he's too wide, to be honest.
Okay.
And especially with tight end. He needs to be more here. We have come for wider alignments against runs because against zone teams, so you don't get 2 gap. Now, if it's pass, we'd rather it be more straight up and down,
Mhm.
so they screw up their protections.
And you said 0 fiddle press here?
Is there a fiddle anywhere?
We're
With
fiddle
our
right
backs?
here.
Yeah, fiddle
These guys
there.
are outside,
Banjo.
corner's got the backside man, and he's got the first guy to his side.
Okay.
Now I'm cheating here. That might as well be like a zone void. I might as well call 2 blue sky and just put this guy in cover 2 up here. But
Right.
now I'm working some man. Each time I'm going to try to work some man and some zone with each group that comes on the field. Try to see if they'll blitz, because you guys have been where you don't blitz. You start out with young guys and you call bullets and nobody runs through. Because they're trying to see if they're going to do it or not.
This is your 2s or 3s?
This is our 2s. But really all our 2s are a lot of redshirt freshmen. That guy's never played before. He's never played this position. Let's see. Both the ends, I think, are redshirt freshmen. No, that used to be a tight end. He's never played in before. He's a freshman. We're pretty young in our depth. That's the thing we're going to have to get better at. Here's go play action. We got two blue Bronco. And he checked it to Sky because he had a backside and outside tight end. So it didn't really make any difference to him. The IVACs.
That's always going to check Sky.
Yeah, most of the time, unless it's guy offsets this way, and then you can. Correct. There's no force problem back on the end, on the back side. I see these guys do a good job, but don't go till you know. See, they hold until they see the last back, and I do that in our diamond drill too, Chuck. Where I'm, you know, sometimes I do my long drops. Where I got two guys dropping on each side. I will fake to the back, fake, make them hold. Sometimes give it to them, so they got to go run, and they got to turn and get out of there.
If you get a real wide split by Z down there, you don't want to be in blue.
No.
You want to be in Bronco.
We've been in trouble for doing that before in our lives. Now, the problem here is, we're back to three, now we're down to threes. Is that there's a two receiver side. This should have been a Sky call. The safety didn't, because we had a guy not show up for the scrimmage, had to go to a 5 o'clock class. Weak safety should have skied it, corner inside, and free safety called a freeze call.
What's your full call here again now?
Full call is boundary G, two blue sky, wide, two blue sky. So
Wide, okay.
So he's reading left, weak safety should have skied this.
Okay,
For us.
I didn't hear you say wide. Because if you hadn't said wide, you're reading right.
That's correct, freeze. So if the weak safety had been outside, you'd had no problem with this play. We end up with no force player out here. Nate hadn't even been on our end. Let's see here. Actually, you know, we're in cover 2 here.
This is a grass field, right?
Yes, sir. Nice grass field. So this guy's never played free safety. This is pretty good. In fact, he's going to be a really good player.
He's what you're playing here. What are you playing?
We're playing cover 2 across the board.
Is he a little wider than normal?
Probably just a little bit. Should be on the guard. He looks like he's between the